Hi, I'm Ann Griffin, and I'm a product leader as well as a product coach. And I write and record about using AI for product discovery, making it a lot faster to test your assumptions, but also actually build a successful product, quicker with the power of AI. And today I'm super excited to share with you about two breakthroughs. One is super, super recent. The other one is more of an upgrade to an existing hardware product. And so the first one I want to talk to you about is the O3 model from OpenAI. So this is super exciting. If you're on Twitter, you maybe heard people debating about the end of software engineering. This is partly because this model specifically passed this framework that tests the ability of software skills, especially for AI models. It's called the SWE Bench Verified, which is about 500 tasks that like models have to actually be able to perform pretty well to a certain standard. And the O3 model got a 71.7%, which the other models I don't think have surpassed about 50% at this point. So this is a pretty big breakthrough. And you maybe heard people talking about it's the end of software engineering. Well, even if it doesn't end software engineering and maybe dramatically changes that landscape and changes the role of software engineers, I think about if it can do these software engineer tasks, it can definitely handle a lot of the things that we as product managers do. Not saying it replaces product thinking or product sense, but in certain companies, we do end up spending a lot of time, actually writing PRDs, writing tickets, and that's not necessarily the most valuable piece of product management, right? Our job is to make the product successful. So I think this is really exciting, this model and the fact that it can do so many things. I'm really excited to get to play with it when it's available to the public. I'm really interested to build ideas with it. So I'm actually trying to think of things that would be worth building. So that's something that is really exciting here. And I think that, I think this is something that, again, it's scary for a lot of us. And I think it makes us rethink what the product role is going to look like in, a few years, maybe even before that, because so much of these things that I'll say sometimes companies, they themselves don't know really what product is and have people basically doing these tasks that are like, I'll say, not that it's not valuable for them to get done, but they're not the thing that actually makes the product successful itself. And I think that, Claire Vaux talks about this a lot of we're going to see a lot of roles where it's might be named something different and it's going to be defined a little different because you're going to have people who are software engineers with great product sense and some design skills be able to do a lot. And then they're going to be paired with roles that kind of make up for, maybe they're not as good at design, or maybe there's certain product things they're not as good at, or product managers that have certain technical skills, have design skills, but need an engineer for the super technical things. So I think we're going to see a lot more blending of this together, especially if the O3 model actually lives up to the hype. So my plan is I want to play with it. I want to experiment with it. I want to see what it can do. I want to even replace some of the things that I do in my job so I can focus more time on the most valuable parts of making the product successful. The second product I want to talk about today, breakthrough, is this product from NVIDIA. So Santa Claus Jetson, I'm calling him Santa Claus because even outside of Christmas time, he is always, I'll say, innovating. I've listened to a recent podcast about him. He's a really fascinating person. And yeah, I think that there's a lot of great things coming out of NVIDIA, but getting to the Jetson Orin Nano Super. So this is an upgrade from the Jetson Orin Nano. And this is about $249 for this, what is basically a supercomputer that fits in the palm of your hand. You have to bring your own monitor, but this is really great for prototyping generative AI applications that are super GPU heavy. So whether you're doing a very super GPU heavy type of chatbot, or you're doing things that involve computer vision, like you're building an app that involves facial recognition, or you're building an app that would be, hey, this is for an event space so they can count how many people who have come in the next hour. This is good for that. And the reason why I wanted to call it out is because even though I don't necessarily have specific things in mind right now that, would require that level of compute, it's really awesome knowing that I could actually build these things myself, buying one of these, working things on the command line. It probably would need to upgrade my command line skills that they're a little rusty at this point and like leverage ChatGPT or Claude for help. But it's really cool because 5 years ago, this would have been such a wild thing to imagine that I would be able to build prototypes and applications that required this much compute and for things that even exist in the physical world on my own from the warmth of my living room. So that's the other thing that's really exciting. I think we're just seeing a lot of different tools come out that are expanding our ability to build things very easily and also prototype and test. And so this is why I really wanted to talk about these things. And I'll end here though, is well, this gives us a lot of, I'll say, power to prototype, power to test our assumptions. Shreyas Doshi, which I know, I'll say, if you watch enough of these videos, you're going to be tired of me talking about him because I do listen to a lot of his videos and read a lot of his Twitter, and I've taken his course, Improving Your Product Sense. But he says thinking is cheap. You should do more of it. And it's still cheaper than just building every single idea you have. And, you know, it's I think a great point of thinking about why spend your time building a prototype and testing it out if there's certain things where it, you know, maybe 5 more minutes of thinking, you probably could have figured out it wasn't going to be successful. If you're building it just for fun, that's awesome. But, you know, more thinking, especially if we're not talking about weeks, it could just be things, hey, you're just spending more thinking focused on this to think, is this going to be successful? Definitely won't hurt. But I think the combination of, you know, clear thinking and these tools being super accessible, I think people who have really great product sense are really going to thrive here. And lastly, I'm going to just say, you know, I have the 5th live version of my course through O'Reilly Pearson, Jumpstart Your AI Career, on February 24th. It's great for people who are really interested in learning about where to start to learn about AI and aren't sure if they want to invest a lot of money in a boot camp or other things. I talk a lot about that and how to find your own path, build your own upskilling roadmap that fits for you and your goals. And then secondly, if you've been enjoying these articles and these videos and you want to work with me, please feel free to reach out. I also do coach. So thank you so much and looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.